So once again, welcome to our catechumens and candidates. Hopefully you all feel them as a sign of hope and encouragement in the faith. So this will be a little bit shorter homily, hopefully. But next week is Christ the King, and then the following week is Advent already, if you can believe that. And so these last couple of weeks of our liturgical year, because the first Sunday of Advent, November 30th this year, will start a new liturgical year in the church. We talk about the last four things. So heaven, hell, death, and judgment. And you get a lot of readings like this in the gospel that are called apocalyptic readings. Now, when you hear the word apocalyptic, you often think end times, right? But really the word apocalyptic means unveiling. So, for example, in Spanish, the last book in the Bible, in English it's Revelation, it's called Apocalipsis, which means it's a revelation. It is an unveiling of something about God. So the three things I want to talk about briefly tonight are something that is shaken up by the resurrection of Jesus and this new unveiling. So I want to talk about pride and humility is the first one, what you can see and what you can't see, the second one, and the third one, control and surrender. So we look at pride and humility. We hear in the first reading from the prophet Malachi, what's going to happen to those who are proud and evildoers? It said they will be like stubble. It's not going to be good when the Lord comes back if we're living pridefully. And so sometimes our world teaches us to get all you can out of it. It's all about you, and Jesus comes to shake that up and actually turn everything upside down. The humble will be exalted, and those who exalt themselves will be humbled. So Malachi goes on to say, for those who fear my name, in other words, those who are humble, there will arise the Son of Justice with its healing rays upon them. So the first thing to think about is pride and humility. The second one is what we can see and what we can't see. We hear in the gospel story today, you can imagine this temple was like a wonder of the world that was there during the time of Jesus. And Jesus says, look around you, there's going to come a time soon when one stone will not stay on another stone. In other words, this is all going to crumble before you. And sometimes what we can see, we think this is what's going to last. It might be our home, it might be our possessions, it might be our bank account, it might be all of these things that we can see. But what Jesus is telling us is it's the things that you can't see that endure, like a relationship with God, like a relationship with others. How many of you were here the other night with Chris Stefanik? We had a packed church. One of the things he was talking about how do you find joy in life? And one of the keys, he says, is through relationships. It's by making friends. And through those relationships, we not only find joy in this life, but through a relationship with God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, it helps us for all eternity. And then finally, things you can control versus surrender. So we're on a women's Be Healed retreat this weekend, and some of us actually will be heading right back there after Mass. And one of the things we've been hearing is the sense of control. And we think that maybe God isn't doing the best job sometimes. So we start to take control and say, I want to do it my way. But Jesus is showing us that he says, I want you to let go of control and I want you to surrender it into my arms. This is not easy to do. And so he says, if somebody takes you to court, don't prepare your own defense. Now, for us today, that sounds crazy, right? We probably have many lawyers who are here saying, you've got to create your case and be prepared for it. But what Jesus is saying here is, open your mouth, say a prayer to the Holy Spirit, and let me speak on your behalf. Sounds crazy, but Jesus is trying to shake us up and say, do you really trust me? Trust me enough that I'm going to take care of you, like the lilies in the field, the birds in the air, that I'm going to give you the words to speak when people are coming at you, that I'm going to be with you until the end of the age. Instead of, I'm going to be in control, I'm going to take care of everything, it's all on me, I've got this. I used to live that way, and it was exhausting. And I've come to believe that, I've shared it with several people, the ultimate prayer of surrender is, Lord, not my will, but yours be done. And the beauty of that prayer is you will never be disappointed with that prayer. If you truly mean that prayer, you will never be disappointed. Because whatever God gives me, I surrender it into his arms. I'm going to accept whatever God passes on my way. And so think about those three things today, about as we come to the end of the liturgical year, God is trying to shake us out of maybe what we thought was true and to show us a deeper and truer reality. Pride versus humility, what we can see versus what we can't see, and having control versus surrendering ourselves into the loving arms of God.